Hello and welcome.
Everybody,
Whoop, whoop,
Hello.
whoop.
welcome to the
Welcome
Playhouse.
to the Miskatonic Playhouse US and UK con rundown. This is going to be
Yeah.
amazing. We're just going to run around the circle of people really quickly and just kind of go, who the hell are these guys? Because obviously we don't know who these people are. Cosmic, who are you?
Yeah, I'm me. I think so. But I do a little bit of the post production here on the Miskatonic Playhouse, and also do that live stuff. If you went to the Chaosium Con.
That's absolutely the best answer I've ever heard. Hedge, who the hell are you?
Hello, my name's John Hedge. I'm the backstage manager at the Miskatonic Playhouse, and I like Blue Sky a lot. Come talk to me there.
And Stu, who the hell are you?
Am I? I'm Stu. I'm producer. I'm in charge of the scheduling, and I occasionally write stuff for the repository.
And Jay, who the hell are you?
Well, I am somebody who keeps hanging out with these people, but yes, I am a sort of selective member of the Miskatonic Playhouse. But my main stuff is on Lightless Beacons, and you can also find me specifically on Wreathed in Flame on Blue Sky.
And I think we can all agree the most important person this evening is Heather. Heather, who the hell are
Oh, what
you?
about that? Hi, I am the US contingent here on the Miskatonic Playhouse, especially today, and having been to the last two Chaosium Con US, I am bringing the US perspective to this whole gathering. And I'm here to see which one of these people did not come back from Chaosium Con Human. So let me know what you think in the chat.
Yes.
Don't put
go
your
into the
hands up.
chat.
But wait,
Yeah.
we're missing one. Newman, who the hell are you?
It's like one of those catch-ups, isn't it? Who's not the alien? Oh, damn, I put my hand up.
Yeah.
Just to frame this, Heather, just quickly give us for anybody that's watching that maybe hasn't been to a con, for those of you that are watching that have been to the American con, you've been to the UK con, you go to all the cons, you basically live in cons, then obviously you're going to know this. Heather, just tell us, where is the American con and what's the kind of the setup that you expect?
So this year was Chaosium Con US. It's in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Actually, I think around Ypsilanti. There's a word for you. But Ann Arbor, Michigan. This was their third year, and really it's been such an amazing gathering of people from both the Chaosium, from all the creators, from both sides of the ocean, as well as many of the followers and players and content creators, especially community content creators here from the US. And the energy is always upbeat and lively and inclusive and supportive. And it has been an incredible, I've been going 2 years of the three. Every year just gets better and better. And it's something to look forward to every year.
And hearing that just straight out the doors, that's exactly what we kind of wanted to hear, because that's what we felt with Chaosium Con UK, and that's what this is about. We're kind of looking at, I suppose we want to kind of get on here and just share some bloody good stories, really, but at the same time, we want to kind of look at these things because there are those of us who like look at you in Ann Arbor in Ipsilopsum, Ipsilipsilipsi.
Bless you.
Ypsilanti.
That's what I
Ypsilanti.
said.
Because
Ipsilipsi. There are those of us that like look at you and we're just like, oh man, that looks like cool fun. But now
yeah,
we got a chance to get
no,
some of
you
these.
do,
Chaosium
and
Con
this is
UK.
yep. So as those of you out there
Look at
can
that.
see, Newman and I have our respective Chaosium Con UK shirts. This is their tour shirt because, as everybody knows, not only is this Chaosium's 50th anniversary this year, but there's not just one, there's not just two, there's not just three, but there are four Chaosium Cons going on this year. The US is celebrating their third. UK obviously just celebrated its first, which I was over the moon with full of FOMO that you guys got to do that this past weekend. I especially loved seeing all the pictures and was jealous as hell. But coming up next month is Chaosium Con Australia. I believe it's their second year doing this.
Yeah.
And in October, the EU is getting its very own Chaosium Con in Poland, and boy, I am looking forward to seeing everything about that, because spreading the love of Chaosium Con, of Call of Cthulhu, of RuneQuest, of
Rivers of London.
oh my God,
Seventh
Pendragon, thank
Sea.
you.
Seventh
Seventh
Sea.
Sea,
Age of Vikings.
spreading the Chaosium
Age of
love
Vikings.
around the globe and bringing it to, because Chaosium it has a following, has love, and the creators and the content and the players globally. So to be able to finally see these gatherings where people can get up close and chat and get to know the wonderful staff, the wonderful creators, like we've had the opportunity to do here in the US for the last 3 years now. So many others are getting that opportunity, and honestly, it just fills my geeky little Chaosium filled heart.
I would say it did feel a little bit like, so obviously, you know, for a couple of years now, me and the Playhouse team, we've been able to meet up at the odd convention. UK Games Expo has been our go-to up until, you know, now, although we're very lucky. Cosmic and Pete are doing UK Games Expo next weekend. So if you are at the UK Games Expo, oh, Jason's going to be there as well for the Lightless Beacons.
Yep,
So
Jason's
if you
gonna be
are
there.
going to UK Games Expo, you've got to make a point to catch up with Jason about Lightless Beacons. You've got to make a point to catch up with Cosmic, who's going to be not only doing Playhousey stuff, but working with Sirenscape. And Pete, who's a bit of an elusive fish. He'll be wearing Playhouse stuff, but you've kind of got to like jump out and surprise him. I've heard that he loves that. He loves it when people jump out and go, Pete! And like you grab him and hug him. He's totally cool with that. So,
payback's a bitch, so be careful what you say, Noom.
yeah. So is Pete. I mean, what I would say is, when I was doing these cons, it was wonderful. I have to say, it did actually feel a little bit like we should have turned a corner. And because the atmosphere, like you said, Heather, was so amazing, we should have been bumping into you. We should have been bumping into Bridget. We should have been bumping into Butcho. We should have been bunching in. Yeah, everybody. Love Cat. Literally everybody that we talk to and makes our community. It kind of felt a bit like, oh, I'll go into the bar and who are you bumping into kind of thing. So it really was wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. The other thing with all these new conventions, it's going to bring so many more people together, but I suppose on the flip side of that, it's going to be way more sacrifices. With it being the first year of Chaosium Con UK, the amount of people that we had to big time.
The sacrifices. I mean, there are sacrifices always have to be made.
Yeah. Right, what we're going to do, team, is wonderful people on here and listening to us ramble. We're going to jump so that you get each person to give you kind of a perspective of the con, whether it be US or whether it be UK. And what we'll do, there'll be a time where I say, right, in the chat, chuck in your questions, and we're putting some time aside at the end, and you can ask us anything that you want. The main one I want someone to
we may not answer.
Yeah, absolutely. The main one is going to be, we want to know what Stu's mother's maiden name was, his first pet's name, his first address, and
the last 4 digits. Moving on. Certain numbers.
Moving on.
Exactly. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with, I tell you what, I actually kind of want to start with, I really want to start with Jason, because I know what Jason's going to talk about, and I'm jealous he's talking about it. So Jay, go for it, my friend.
Well, okay, I'm going to talk about the games I ran, because they are all Miskatonic repository, but also I think we can talk a little bit about the epic, hilarious finale that happened that seems to now be a thing that everyone calls me. So yeah, so I started off with my Year of the Goat scenario, which is going to be coming out in the said anthology Year of the Goat, hopefully in August. Mine is about you're all in a metal band. It's something I've been wanting to write for ages. It's pretty much ready. And yeah, it was an amazing time. I had some really cool people in there, like the guys from Cthulhu Architect / handout generator people. I know a lot of you people use that. But also Camille from How We Roll. So I was slightly terrified. But yeah, no, it was amazing. They really got into it, and it went differently from the last playthrough, which is like the perfect sort of situation when you're playtesting. So yeah, that was amazing. The second one was the one and only Mac. Tracy's Lights in the Trees, which, by the way, I've just heard that it's gone to print on demand now. So congrats.
Yes, it is. Congratulations, Matt, Doc, Tracy.
Honestly, if you've not picked this up yet, please do, because it is It's so good, like so it's so satisfying as the keeper to just watch your table go full on paranoid. But again, my players were so brilliant. In fact, that was just a thing across the board. The players I had were so they were so engrossed and they got so into it. It was amazing. But yeah, without giving it away, they got what they thought was the good ending, but actually it was the technical bad ending. But if you've seen my playthrough on the Playhouse that we did, I think what was it, February, then you'll know what I mean because there
Yeah.
was a bit of a split party with that. So that was great. I also did that on Saturday morning, which I think was hella hardcore, but it totally worked. And then finally, in terms of the games I ran, was Stu's Lost and Found. And of course, he provided all the amazing, like elaborate handouts and a costume for me to wear, which has gone down very nicely on the socials. So I could be a train driver
I
for
thought
the
you were
day.
going to say on eBay then. It's gone down very well on
Thank you,
eBay.
Stu.
Lots of people
eBay, what are you
interested.
talking about?
So it does turn out that I lent Jason two jackets and I forgot to pick one
Yes.
of them up from him, so he still has it. So it may end up on eBay.
No, I would never do that, Stu. What do you take me for? Yeah, so again, that was a brilliant game. And yeah, once again, quite different from how I've seen it run before. No spoilers. But again, if you want to pick it up, it's a lovely little train-based scenario that you can have like as a break in your campaign or just something else to pick up. It can be set pretty much in any train station you want, as long as it's in the 20s slash Gaslight. There is stuff for Gaslight in there. Yeah, definitely pick it up. I highly recommend it. And then, of course, there was Newman's semi-impromptu Cthulhu card game, um, where we basically use the four Chaosium decks. So you've got things like investigators, unfortunate events. I think you've got items in there, stuff like that. So when we picked our characters from the deck, I of course got one of the most unhinged characters possible. For those of you who've seen the previous Cthulhu cards that was done at the Expo, I think in 2023, there was a creepy clown character, but I instead got the fully unhinged cultist that could turn into a bat. So that was
It did, Jay, I would say it
ridiculously
did carry
hilarious.
on a tradition. It did carry on
Yes.
that ridiculous tradition. So it was a very welcome ridiculousness. Sorry, Jay.
Yeah. Especially because some of you were like, "Oh, are you sure you want that one? Are you sure you don't want to pick another?" I'm like, "Nope. I've never been more sure in my life." So yeah, in the end, I basically scared the shit out of Lynn and Keris's characters. When
Yeah.
I tried to do a really camp appearance after changing into a bat, I thought I would have this amazing moment of bursting through a window and just sort of floating down in my corporeal human form again. And their response was, "Vampire! Vampire! Oh my God, vampire!" And then it just went all downhill from there.
Specifically
Yes.
Keris, who
And then
who
Lynn. And then
we
Lynn.
hadn't role played with Keris before, and Keris was absolutely amazing. I would say Lynn
Yes,
is an old
yes.
pro here at the.
Oh,
Although I said that at the convention, she nearly slapped my wrist for it. Lynn is a familiar member and expert here at the Playhouse. So yeah, they held their own and they
yes.
became vampire hunters. Yeah,
Surprise.
yeah. But it was awesome. I would also say that will be coming out as a release, as an audio release. It's very, very silly. It is not to be taken seriously. There was many grown-up juices drunk in the production of that particular game.
I
And
leave you
Cosmic
alone
was
for 5 minutes.
Exactly. Cosmic was amazing in giving us
Yeah.
the Cthulhu cards, of which I said, yeah, I'll run a game with the Cthulhu cards. That'd be amazing. I literally looked at them about like 5 minutes before we played, and da-da!
And don't,
It
of
was
course, forget
amazing.
the Bout of Madness deck from the repository that
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
Jason
Jay,
provided.
do you want to give the Bat of
Yes.
Magnus deck a shout out, Jay? Because that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
wonderful.
sure. Yeah. So,
Oh, did you use the Madness deck? Because though
mm,
that deck is phenomenal. I
yeah,
love that
yeah.
deck.
It's very much, it's not something you absolutely need, but you should use it because it's got an
Yeah.
amazing just variety. It really takes the sort of
Mm.
those 10 things you can choose from in the core book and it really kind of it makes them more in depth. It gives you a bit of like food for thought in terms of how to give yourself player agency. But also it's not too complicated on each card, and there's quite a nice variety, plus a little sprinkling of the classic stuff, like you've got your fainting, your paranoia. But you could have things like maybe you're an evil genius at accounting or something, or you could believe that one of the investigators is in fact a long lost like family member, something like that. So
Yeah.
they're again they're on
It's
the repository to pick up. So please do.
yeah, that the deck itself, and you can divide it up. I've actually grabbed it when I have my copy. I actually have used it I used it at Chaosium Con US. And I actually divided it up. So like I picked the ones that I wanted, and I basically had just used part of the deck, and that was enough. So if a Bout of Madness came up, or I wanted to throw something more permanent at them, then I could just I could literally look at my players and go, pick a card,
Mm,
pick
yeah.
your fate, and it was it's such a great resource, absolutely worth picking up.
Speaking of great resources, Cosmic,
Hello.
Yeah,
you're on deck to talk about the live shows.
Live shows, yeah. You see, folks, I don't go to conventions to enjoy myself. I just go there to be useful. It's very strange when nice things happen to you at these conventions. You meet lots of lovely people. But yeah, we were very fortunate enough to have a small lecture studio, because obviously the Cranfield is a conference centre. Fantastic facilities, accommodation, loads of rooms where you can play all your games. And we managed to get one of these smaller lecture theatres, and we put on live shows. So we were able to get a space out the front, arrange some tables. We then put in all the kit that we have for recording these. So we had like 4 cameras, going through a vision mixer. We had 3 levels of audio support for the performance, because people tended to wander. So hopefully one of those microphones will have picked up something they said.
I apologize. I would just like to take a moment to apologize for my complete inability to stay near a microphone.
Stay near a microphone, but that's fine. That's why we had the 3 levels of support for folks. And it worked. Sat down, we were mixing everything through. So Rivers of London was a good test. We did have to deposit a certain 6-foot tall Nick Brooks away from the front row to obscure half the people sitting there. And in the second game, which was the Mike Mayer's game, we did have to ask the gentleman in the top hat to move slightly to the right.
Mr. Hatman.
Mr. Hammer, yeah.
Lovely chap.
Yeah, and so it was great fun, because, folks, there's this thing where you can have an artistic output, and the thing that you create is the output. But also there's the artistic way of getting to that output and actually putting all of this thing together, having all the elements, having a space, having a room, having the audience that also turned up and enjoyed themselves and laughed and made it a real thing, because that's what I came to the Miskatonic Playhouse for. Productions and shows, and this was a great opportunity for the Miskatonic Playhouse to put on a show. We put on a Rivers of London, and we were lucky enough to have Mike Mason himself run a game for us.
Yeah, and that looked epic
for all
pretty
audiences.
Cool.
Yeah, you know, it was a fantastic thing. Hopefully, you know, we get to do it again, because I'm addicted to potential. So I'm addicted to see what we could do next for it. But if we do it the same, it'll be fantastic. If we do it extra, it'll also be fantastic. But yes.
Stu, looks like that stuff we're putting in Cosmic's coffee's working. He's addicted to potential. We got him.
I've always been addicted to potential. The amount of FX model kits I've got up in the loft.
Put a little bit more on there on his sandwich. Perfect. Do you know, I think it's fair to say, and Cammy's already done it in the chat and kind of said thank you, Cosmic, and thank you to Stu for being there and running that. I genuinely think, you know, just on this, it is so important that we recognise the work that Cosmic has done throughout this con, the amount of equipment that he's brought, and we're not just talking little things here, we're talking suitcases full of cameras, of stands, of
metal,
cables,
cases,
metal. I swear there was a person in a suitcase that just crawled out at one point. There was genuinely, in terms of bringing gear, setting it up, monitoring it, and then obviously, as we all know, you take it home and you just press the edit button and it's done. I mean, that's the easy bit, right?
That's the thing, yeah. It's just what
But
happened.
just publicly, I think from the Playhouse and from everybody that was at the con that hopefully will or wasn't at the con that will hopefully watch these things, just a little round of applause for Cosmic there, because
Well,
he
it's
has
much
worked his
appreciated.
behind off.
That's it. I never come out to these things for praise or thanks or anything like that. But it is nice when people enjoy it, and
I have the same motto.
if I can, that was the second part of the thing that I really enjoy, was meeting all the people who are Miskatonic repository writers, and we've run their stuff. And they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it was just, oh, you watched that? He said, yeah, chap who wrote Pop Goes the Weasel was there. And so, oh, you wrote that? We ran that recently. When's it coming out? And I think we made an executive decision to say next week, because we're nice
We
like
do
that.
stuff like that.
We're doing
When's it coming
We
out?
actually did do that,
Now,
didn't we? Yeah.
right now.
Thank you for reminding me. I
shit,
need to schedule that.
That's
Thank you,
right.
Stu.
But it was just
Just
nice.
turning into a
Get it on.
meeting.
Get to that, Stu. Get on.
It was just
But
really
that's one of
nice. Sorry, go on, Heather.
Go on, Heather.
I was going to say, this is one of the things that I absolutely have fallen in love with Chaosium for, is because of the incredible, overwhelming support that they give to the community content, to the repository, to the Jonestown Compendium, to the Companions of Arthur that's out now, and everything. I mean, I've been gaming since a long time.
What was that? We didn't quite catch that, Heather. Was it? What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But Chaosium, I think, and this is one of the great things, is like when you can go to Chaosium Con, and now you guys have this you understand what I'm about to say, is that now that you can be there face to face and actually chat, maybe over a pint or a nosh or whatever, and you can tell them and how much you appreciate what they do, because we're here because of the support that they give to the community, to the creators in the community. And it's being able to kind of share that love amongst everybody in the Chaosium community, from the Chaosium creators themselves, to the players, to the attendees, to people, like us on the Playhouse or on Lightless Beacons or anything else. It's all one, and being able to share that you don't see that in almost any other system or company community. So massive shout out to Chaosium on that one.
Absolutely.
I've got to throw that love that way.
No, I think you're right, and we're not going to mention some names here, probably just because there's quite a lot of them. But at the time of the convention, just that whole kind of mix of everybody meeting, people from Mike Mason, Paul Fricker, Brian Holland, Mob, David, all these people, they're just in there and mixing and getting on with it. When Cosmic and we arrived late on the Thursday night, and it was a quick like, hey, here's the guys and whatever. And I remember going up to the bar, bumping into Neil, who was an absolute charmer and a legend. And then within minutes, Neil had introduced me to the Icelandic fellas who were working on the Age of Vikings work. And getting stuck in around with those guys. Oh, I tell you what.
Oh, did you get caught in the bar with them? Because
100%.
They were there.
Friday was a long day.
They were at Chaosium
and we arrived on Thursday.
We arrived on Thursday. Yeah. But you're absolutely right, Heather. And I think championing the Chaosium crew. I mean, when we go to these things, we're very lucky that Lynn kind of gravitates towards us and hangs out with us and looks after us. Lynn's a bit
He's
like
worried you'll do something stupid and like walk in front of a car.
I mean, that's it. Lynn's just really worried that we're going to break everything. So she it's almost like she's our carer, essentially. But it's just so amazing to chill out with Lynn and stuff. And then Lynn's obviously talking to everybody. Karis was coming and chilling out with us. It was just...
I am so jealous about Karis. I am so jealous about... Paris and Brian and a few others are on my list.
Can you imagine any other con, any other massive company having these people, like the people that are running the company, making the books, just coming and being a part of it? It's just wonderful, really, really wonderful experience.
And they really are part of it. That's one of the, I'll admit, that's one of the wonderful things about that I've had for anybody here in the US who has come to the US convention, we had that advantage. We've had those moments where we're just back and forth, we're in games with them, and it's not them and us, it's everybody together. The inspiration, the be able to bend ears, everybody is lovely. I mean, just lovely. I had shout out to Lynn, once again, because I actually got a chance to sit down and we talked Regency, we talked messages through clothing over the years. We talked about the importance of especially women, and the diversity of voices coming through and being supported in TTRPG and RPG circles. We had an amazing conversation. We just hung out for like an hour or so in between
100%.
things. And
that's
when
what they
do you
It's
get
amazing.
that? You don't. You get it at Chaosium Con.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, we're going to use that moment to swing over to Stu, who's been nominated to talk next, by Hedge, bizarrely, who's talking after Stu. Stu, give us your best.
So actually, what I was going to talk about was what you've basically just talked about is all the wonderful people that you can meet there. So I'm going to expand on that, and then I'm going to throw a curveball and talk about something else.
Superb. Good man, Stu.
You're right. A lot of it is you can get talking to anybody at these conventions, but the particular layout here, we had so many round
You need to
tables.
speak louder.
I will talk louder. I have to talk like this because my microphone's playing up. Remove a pop filter. We had these lovely round tables filling up the atrium, and you'd sit down at those tables, and there'd be somebody else there sitting opposite you. And you go anywhere, a restaurant or something like that, you wouldn't be talking to the other people, but at this convention, you did. And through this, I got talking to people who I've only ever seen their name in print or heard their voices on other podcasts. People like Matt and Tiffany Sanderson, absolutely lovely people.
Yeah.
Just picked up random conversations just like that. The Isseries Market,
More jealousy.
Well, there we go. At the Isseries Market.
More jealousy. Keep going. The FOMO's just there. It's going to be there.
At the Isseries Market, I was walking around some of the people selling secondhand stock, and there's a lady there. She had a copy of the Day of the Beast, the old 6th edition campaign. And I was just conversationally saying, "Oh, love that campaign. First one I ever ran. Really had a good time." And she said, "Look at the name on the front. Look at my badge." And she was Luka Shaskovsky. Apologies if I pronounced this incorrectly. She wrote the first scenario, the favourite scenario of our group in that campaign. And we just spent a good while just discussing the campaign. I showed her the handouts I made, and it was just this connection that we built up. But again, you never know who you're going to talk to. And you've got all the names on the badges, but even then you'll look at the name and think, I recognise that from somewhere. Why do I reckon? Yes, I've seen that. So I'm now going to pivot this into the other thing that I really liked about Chaosium Con, was how open they were as to what's coming up next. The demo games from Horror on the Orient Express, Tales from Innsmouth, and Credo, all fantastic games. I got to play a couple of them on as well. We got wonderful talks. The What's New in Cthulhu. We got to see the trailer for the Pursuit for the Pale Leaves, which I think I want to say pre-orders open today. I think.
There's also going to be a limited run at the expo.
Yes, if you're going.
Hey Jason, can you take care of that for me?
I think I can wrangle something.
Just hang on to it until maybe the tariffs go down. But anyway, continue, Stu.
Newman and I bumped into Helena Nash. They wrote the In Liberty Shadow book, and they happened to have their contributor copy still in wrap. And all we said was, "Oh, that looks good," and they said, "Let's open it." And we got a flick through at the same time as the author of that book saw their book in print.
There's just a plus one that. What did Newman walk away from?
Newman, what did you walk away with?
Own up, come on.
I don't know if we're allowed to.
I was going to say, careful, you'll get Brian Holland storming the stream to say
Newman didn't walk away with anything.
Closure is actually Brian was in on it.
Brian's fantastic.
Because of the wonderful
things,
folk at Chaosium. I was able to walk away with the first copy that's not on sale yet of In Liberty's Shadow, written by Helena. And it's absolutely amazing. This is the Rivers of London. It looks at the Americas. It brings the whole of the Americas into the Rivers of London world with the whole kind of Kim Reynolds FBI kind of expansion, but goes way beyond that. It is beautiful. Stu, isn't it beautiful?
Oh, it's a gorgeous book. The maps inside, the illustrations, the artwork, and I think we're going to see Rodri and Isabel go on holiday at some point soon. And that brings me on to the
Hedge, start writing.
chaos. That brings me on to. They keep talking over me, don't they?
Hedge still owes me edits on a project we're working on, so we'll talk
Oh
later.
yeah,
Hedge.
sorry.
That
Yeah.
brings me on to
That's
the non.
okay. I know you've been busy.
This is definitely turning
Go on,
into a
Stu.
meeting
Go on,
now.
Stu.
Sorry, you may not tell. This is the first time I've ever done a live stream, so apologies.
No,
this is
you're
the-
doing great.
You're
Really.
doing very well.
So the non-Chaosium.
Come on,
products as well.
Reverend. You can do this. You can do this.
I think it's because everyone keeps interrupting him.
Sorry.
Yeah, Stu, go.
Archist Atrium, long corridor, lots of people selling their own individual things, from Beverly and Beverly's bags, Beverly's and Stitches dice bags, which are fantastic, to a chap
Gorgeous.
called Lee O'Connor, who is doing illustrations and who painted this rather wonderful. Oh, why can't I get it to work?
Yeah. You have
Paints
to
in
hold your
blur.
hand up. There we
It's
go.
too
Unblur
big.
yourself.
I'll unblur myself, but we managed to commission him to do some artwork for the Rivers of London, Waters of Leith character illustrations, which are fantastic, which you will hopefully be
Hedge,
seeing.
Hedge
Wow.
is over a touch.
Nice.
Those are nice.
Yeah.
but-
So you've got Rodri, Isabel,
Sucker for artwork.
Lennox, and Leith in
Yes,
that
you do.
picture. There's Stu's picture. He was using those
There you
blurred
go.
paints. Very, very special.
Yeah.
And
I love life.
there we go.
Soft touch.
Here we are.
Ah,
So he painted while we
Oh,
were
there it
talking to
is.
him.
It's
He
us.
was painting Amigo fighting a cat, and I just said, "Oh,
That's
cool. Is that a
glorious.
commission for somebody?" He was like, "No, I'm just painting it." So of course I bought it. I've now framed it. It now sits on my wall here, as well.
And it's signed. If I remember seeing the picture that you
yeah,
posted, it
yeah.
is signed
is.
directly to
Too big.
Stu
Just doesn't quite fit in the frame.
for Chaosium Con.
So
So it will be there for all time.
I now have that memento. I'll blur my background again because you'll see the mess of our study. The
Look at
absolutely, it's just the goodness of everybody there. From talking to the Chaosium staff, from talking to the licensees, Adam from 60 Stone Press, from talking to the community creators, and just talking to the other people, the people who are just there to play the games, to enjoy the games. You made so many contacts here, and not just contacts in a business sense, but contacts in a, I'll see you at another convention and I will say hi, and we'll say, we were at Chaosium Con. Do you remember that time that? And you can't put a price on that.
Stu, I've
Chaosium
got
Con with that community. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not just contacts, but it brings the community together, both locally and globally. So
Stu,
yeah.
could you post Lee's contact in the chat, in his website perhaps, in the chat if you have it to hand? If not, what we'll do is we'll put it in the Playhouse server in the Chaosium Con UK 25 chat, because people are asking in there for it, which is fantastic.
Well, it's easy. I'll tell you now. It is Lee O'Connor, all one word, .co.uk.
I've written it in the chat. Somebody else can look at it.
leeoconnor.com, all one word. Sorry.
Did anybody pick up any of Katrin's RuneQuest
I saw them.
art?
I saw them. They were
Did you see
Did
them?
look amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
They were
looked
gorgeous artwork.
amazing. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
last year
absolutely
that was
fantastic.
the artwork that I picked up over the last 2 years. There's a couple of pieces from Katrin, being for Chaosium Con. And honestly, the artwork that it's hard not to. I'm a sucker for art and dice bags and things like that.
Yep.
So Chaosium Con being, I know it's all the things. But Chaosium Con, especially when you get a chance to meet the artists that have made these gorgeous pieces. I mean, it is, as Stu was saying, in these books. I was able, not Chaosium Con, but a couple weeks before Chaosium Con US, the Chaosium team, Rick and Jeremiah and some of the other were at a convention, and Rick was very kind to let me get my hands on, not to keep, but to look through before it was released, the Gaslight Investigators Guide, as well as the new Pendragon book.
Nice.
And I mean, I got to get a look at that gorgeousness beforehand. And that's one of the wonderful things. They know, they want to show off all this hard work that's been done. So for what you guys have got a sneak peek of maybe before release and everything. Like we didn't get the trailer for Pale Leaves.
No.
Like I saw that on one of your social medias
when
and
we
was
saw
jealous as hell because
when we saw it, I don't think anybody on stage had seen it. I don't think Mike Mason had seen the
Yeah, I
trailer.
think it was
was
brand
that hot off the
new.
press.
Yeah.
Brian brought this to us for this convention. It was amazing.
Yeah, I'm so incredibly, I'm so excited for that book. And I don't know if there is still, I'm going to shout this out real quick because the creators of Pale Leaves lived in, I believe, live in Southern California. And when the wildfires went through, the Pasadena wildfires went through some months ago, they lost their home. They lost all of their research, all of their pieces, everything. And so there was talk of that the next book after that, there was supposed to be a book after that, is going to be delayed for goodness knows how long because they put so much time and effort and research and to pulling this together. So when Pale Leaves finally comes out, folks, please, yes, buy that. But also look, if I don't know if they still have I think they had a GoFundMe or something up. But if there is, please help to support your content creators on that in any way, shape, or form.
In terms of supporting your content creators, a few people are asking in the chat, and we'll also copy this over to Chaosium Con UK 25 channel in the MP server. If there's anybody that their link to some of the, whether it was art, whether it was dice bags, whether it was whatever they were doing, if they're kind of a creator within our community and you want to drop their links so other people can kind of find them, you have our permission to do so. Drop them in the stream chat, drop them on the Chaosium Con UK 25 channel. Share that love. Let's shout out the creators, because that's a big part of what we all are and everything. Right, we're now going to move on to Mr. Hedge. Mr. Hedge.
That's me. Hi. Yeah. At 2 a.m. on the Thursday before the con, so basically the day that I was traveling there, Bridget Jeffries dropped me and Newman a message and said, "Hey, would you guys like to make some videos at the con and do some of our social media work for us because we need that done?" And I was like, I already have a pretty full schedule at the con, and I kind of want to spend it talking and meeting people. I'm not sure. And then Newman went, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So I said yes.
Those were brilliant. The reels the challenges were brilliant.
Yeah, so basically the way it worked was Bridget sent us 10 small videos, each of which had a different challenge. In fact, it ended up being 13 videos, but who's counting? And what we had to do is respond to that challenge. And the first challenge we kind of took seriously, and we showed everyone around the place. And then I quickly began seeing how much stupidity I could get away with. And the more stupid I got, the happier everyone got. So what did I do? I made Newman out to be an alcoholic at least twice. I announced that Mike Mason had been killed. I got Keris to tell Newman to sod off. In fact, she improv that. She was just. I created the place for it to happen. I got Lynn to tell Newman to sod off. Newman, did anyone else tell you to sod off?
Paul Fricker shouted at me for we told Stu to sod off. We turned that around on Stu when actually we want to talk to Brian.
Paul Fricker, and then Lynn didn't let us talk to Ben Aronovich. It basically, we just made silly videos, and it was really, really fun. And the thing is, I almost turned it down because I wanted to spend a lot of time talking with people. But the thing was, making the videos basically allowed us to go and talk to pretty much everyone in Chaosium and say, "Hey, we're doing your social media. Can we have a few minutes?" And they all said yes, because that's part of their job. And we got chatting to them, and we got speaking to them, and we made some stuff for them, and they were happy, and they were really pleased that we'd helped. So it actually ended up being a really cool thing for us that we're really, really proud of. We created lovely little memories that will last forever because they're just there. And also, I may have walked away with something.
A little something.
A little thank you for doing the social media.
Something. A little
that
thank
is
you.
a sexy box set.
little something something that may be coming up sometime in the future and may involve some collaboration between podcasts. We're not entirely sure yet. We cannot possibly comment because we genuinely don't know, because this is very, very thick and it will take a year. So,
And the rest.
You think it will take a
yes.
year?
Sorry, the
I was
US
gonna
the
say-
US
Sweet
brain
summer
just went somewhere
child.
totally went. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
Do,
So
do
I
I
was
ask
just gonna
him?
say,
Do
just
I ask him for a promise there? I don't know. I mean, continue with
a blood pact is the appropriate offering,
Blood
I think there.
pact.
Just
Okay, I see.
echoing what Hedge is saying there about that kind of, doing those socials and kind of, I echo Hedge. It gave us permission as the Playhouse to kind of, go and have a chat with Rick, like properly go and have a chat with Rick, to go and have a chat with Mob, to go and have a chat with, just to go up to people that we probably would have chatted to anyway, but in this slightly like, hey guys, we're going to do this quick thing. And then after the camera's off, you're there chatting for 5 or 10 minutes and you're kind of getting to know these people. And it was a really lovely experience. And especially because we had, Lynn with us in the live Rivers of London, the Waters of Leith show. We had Mike running as keeper of the Mike Mares, the Call of Cthulhu show. It genuinely felt that we were kind of, helping spread that kind of, I don't know, just the vibe of the event. We were very proud to be a part of what Chaosium had created, and do
I
our
think
part. Really.
we really managed to cultivate much more playfulness in the event. So the joy of, I know that it would be odd to call Newman and I young, but when it comes to Chaosium, we are on the younger side. And to really inject that energy and playfulness into what was going on, I think really brought, it kind of created that little bit of legacy from the event that hopefully will be really powerful. And we had fun and we did stupid things and it got a little bit out of hand. I probably should have announced that Mike Mason had been killed. That might have been going too far.
Might a little bit.
His twin brother, who's now claiming to be Mike Mason, would argue differently.
Yeah,
I think
well,
he's quite happy about
yeah.
it. So,
Spike Mason is and really, and Spike Mason paid us quite a lot of money to make all that happen. So I think really everyone wins.
Win-win situation.
I do know that
Right.
watching those reels from this perspective, that's how I practically, that's how I actually lived Chaosium Con UK through what you guys were putting together. What I mean, first of all, watching, my friends and fellow Playhouse, players having a blast at enjoying that energy and that connectedness that we've here in the US have had an opportunity to, but you truly brought the Playhouse spirit with you through those, and
I
you
think
gave
Heather just said
I
the
mean,
Playhouse spirit was really stupid. So that's what I got from that message.
I didn't, but you actually, it brought the con to, in very small little snippets, it brought the con to everybody. And because we got to see a little bit of everything, we got a feel for a little bit of everything that was going on, or at least the vast majority of the stuff, at least that could actually be shown on video, because I'm sure, Chaosium Con After Hours should never be videotaped. We all know this. And I think, with the friends that Newman met along the way, proved that, that double hand, man. So, but no, those were
They were
absolutely
pints. Oh, I see.
wonderful. Yes. Double pinting it. But yes,
they weren't for me. They were for a friend.
lovely.
That you met
Fairness,
along
I
the
drank
way.
one of those pints, so I can't complain.
Okay.
One for each personality.
You
each
realise we've
demon
just had
inside.
Hedge admit that he's Newman's friend.
It's
Live on air.
official.
That is
It's
technical.
official. Okay, guys, that's it. That's where we cut. No, we don't. Guys, just
Shall we open up to the audience?
not yet. No, 'cause I'm going to say
Yes.
my bit first.
Oh.
I'm going to say my chunk first. But
Oh.
Yeah, what
thank
did you
for
enjoy?
railroading the formula that I planned on a post-it note, guys. Thanks.
We talked to you about the plan.
Yeah,
Not your
yeah.
plan. The plan.
Just on what Heather was saying, though, it was really important to us as the Playhouse to make sure that when we did, when we were doing things like, Camille from How We Roll came into one of our live games, which is amazing. And we want to, that's what the Playhouse is. It's about community. It's never just about the Playhouse. Oh yeah, we spent all our time with Jason and Lydia from the Lightless Beacons. The amount of other, the the Cthulhu architect guys are there. It really is a thing, and hopefully the vibe you're getting from the Playhouse and what we'll be sending out in our live shows and things over the next however when is that kind of community vibe. That's the intention. Speaking about community, because that's a really good side link into what I'm going to talk about.
Great
I just want to
transition
spend
there.
a minute. Yeah, thank you, and I did it really smoothly. What I want to just kind of hit on is the same thing that XP Lovecat was doing in the US, which
Yes.
is looking at the kind of the community content creators, and it's the panel and the mix and meet. So in the UK, with me also wearing a different hat, which is the Miskatonic Repository Con Shoggoth, is myself and the wonderful Marek from the Zigradzi. I think I said that right. I've been practicing. No, Cosmic shaking his head.
Zigrazzi.
Zigradzi?
Zigrazzi.
Zigrazzi. Thank you. You've practiced more. And Marek is a wonderful, wonderful human person. Oh, Chris said Marek's an angel. He is an angel.
Very cool guy.
And so Marek and I were able to kind of host the mix and meet, and obviously Hedge and Stu and Cosmic with Ed Jay was there, and we all kind of gathered in and grouped up. Chaosium, a big thank you to you guys, because you absolutely stepped up and said, you know what, everybody that signed up for the community content mix and meet, of which was a huge amount of Miskatonic repository creators, but it was also beyond, because it was the UK, and I think there was a little bit of not uncertainty, but there was like we want to see how many people are going and make sure this, rather than it being Miskatonic Repository Con mix and meet, it turned into, with Chaosium's kind of, I think, right desires at the time as well, it turned into, let's have the Miskatonic Repository Con, let's have the Legends of Arthur, let's have the Rune Quest, Johnstown Compendium guys. It was get everybody together. And Chaosium Con, big thanks to you guys, they gave everybody a beer voucher or a soft drink voucher, which was lovely, and everybody got together, and it was great, and it was really cool. And one of the best parts of that is that Stu grabbed a load of scenarios and kind of just laid them across the table, and there were loads of them there, like genuinely loads of scenarios there, and people just came over and they were talking about them, and they were handing them around, and every time someone touched one or folded a page, you saw Stu's eye twitching a little bit. But it was lovely, because it just gathered people together in this, and it was a really nice bar area, really like lots of little alcoves and things that you can kind of spread out into. It was really lovely. On top of that, the other side of that was the community content panel that Nick Brook and I ran together. Firstly, it's always a pleasure,
Love
Mr.
Nick.
Brook. Oh,
Nick
100%
is awesome.
to be with you.
Nick is
Ah.
everything, because his work and along with Bridget here in the US, just that push, that development, that curating and supporting love for the
100%.
community content, folks. Thank you, Nick, if you see this.
And he's the king of saying,
Yes.
just on the right side of inappropriate humor at the wrong time.
Yes.
And he just says it loud enough for you to hear and nobody else to hear. So Nick is like comic gold, I would
He's
say
brilliant.
as well. But again, we had a wonderful, wonderful panel. So once again, a big thank you to our panelists who came and joined us. You were amazing. But we also had like an amazing crowd of people there. Some wonderful questions, and people in the audience. We had like Mob and Paul Fricker, and I can't even think, Brian Holland. People were in the audience like those guys, and they were asking questions and joining in, and it made the community vibe just feel really sharp, really valued, really welcome. So I just wanted to say on here as well, for my fellow Shoggoths at the Miskatonic Repository Con, we were very well represented, and Marek was absolutely amazing. I was there, and we did a really good job, and we also held up a bit of a torch for the other community content branches as well, which was a really, really lovely thing to do. And we've got about 10 minutes left, so what I'm going to say now is, chat, you've got an
have some questions.
opportunity to just chuck out any questions. If you want to, you can even chuck in a question and then give a name. So you can kind of say, Heather, can you tell me about this? Or you could say, Stu, can you tell me about this? Or you can just say, here's a question, and then people will jump on it. So, hey.
First question, you mean?
Yeah. Go for it. Oh, go on.
What do you think? It's from Andy. What do you think Chaosium or us as attendees could add for next year's con? I think that's a general one opening to the table.
What could we add?
Well,
Oh, okay.
oh,
Go on, Heather, why don't you
Potential
give us your American?
cosmic assailant.
I have a quick question, because one of the things that we have been blessed with here in the US for 2 years running, and it's looking to just continue, is we've had live action events. We've had LARP, we've had the freeform. So last year kind of kicked off everything between, it was a small Cthulhu based one, and then of course we had the very long freeform, the Home of the Bold, which was absolutely mind-blowingly phenomenal. This year I actually was I was on the NPC side as part of the LARP. And I'm not going to give anything away on that in case, because I do believe it is coming. It's headed I think to maybe Games Expo. I think that's going to be happening. I don't know, I don't think there was a live action, like a LARP or freeform
No,
at
the
the
last kind of
UK, was there?
Cthulhu LARP thing that happened was when last year we were at UK Games Expo and we ran the Arkham Towers LARP that Hedge kind of wrote, and Stu and I were kind of facilitated. Yeah,
but
so,
nothing at this past weekend.
No, we did talk about it. We did think about it, but because we were worried we'd begin to kind of like dominate the schedule, we were a bit like, oh, we're doing this.
Yeah.
But hey,
yeah,
next year, if Chaosium, you're listening and you're like, hey, those Miskatonic Playhouses, if they want to do a LARP, let's dress them up like a bunch of flamingos with tentacles.
I think we had, I want to say somewhere between 30 and 40 people. I think it was closer to 40 people for our Cthulhu base LARP. That was just brilliantly put on. It was just a ton of fun to do. So I'm just going to throw the recommendation out from US to UK, and I'm going to throw this out to Australia and to EU. Get a live action event going, even if it's kind of small, even if it's like 15, 20 people, you are going to have an absolute blast, whether it's silly, whether it's fun, whether it's intriguing. No matter how you do it, there's something about this community and the people who inhabit it, the Chaosium community, that I think a lot of us, if we are not somehow in some way, shape, or form connected to theater, there's a bit of theater kid in everyone.
Heather, now you said that, you've reminded me, there was a wonderful couple who were there that we spoke to, and they said, hey, we were in your LARP last year at UK Games Expo, and they were like, and then I think it was when they were watching Waters of Leaf, and then I think
it was Helena, wasn't it?
Helena was in the LARP as well. Helena Nash, who wrote in Liberty Shadow, it was in our LARP last year. Man, that feels like a long time ago saying last year, but it doesn't feel like a long time ago. Cosmic, were you going to throw something in on this?
Absolutely. We need to have karaoke. Mike Mason demanded we have karaoke.
Yes.
So on your feedback form, if you went to Chaosium Con, Mike Mason wants karaoke. And we shall get him singing My Way. So why?
Because they did karaoke at the US based one.
What did he sing?
And Mike Mason is a karaoke fiend. So Mike, if you're seeing this, I'm spilling the beans. Mike is a fiend when it comes to the karaoke in the US. So
guys, I'm putting my song choices in now. Number 1 song from me is going to be Mustang Sally. Number 2 song from me is going to be the 5 Megamix. Nobody else.
I'm going to try and get into some more questions, guys, because we've answered one.
5 minutes ago.
What's our next question?
Okay, so this one, there's been a couple of people talking about the fact about age, and because I mentioned that everyone is a bit older. Some talk about secession and talk about diversity of age. So, what could we be doing to attract a more diverse audience into cons and the hobby more generally? Let's try and do that one fast, because there's 2 or 3 more questions.
I think the start of it is having the conventions. I think bringing people together face to face is really starting to have that effect. I know watching, kind of seeing the groups of people, the individuals that come out, to the US based Chaosium Con. It's slowly changing. There are a lot of younger, we're not talking the old grognards. Don't get me wrong, there's places, but it's really the audience is getting to there's a definitely
Interesting.
youthful energy to it. And when you go to like Chaosium Con, um at least all I can speak of in the US is that people take that energy and then it goes out into their game groups, into wherever they go next. Like, hey, yeah, I was just at Chaosium Con and this happened and this happened and this happened. I talked to this person and this was really cool. And that kind of brings them in. And then it gives you an opening in a lot of ways to share that energy. And when you're sharing that energy, now you're talking, hey, I can talk up community content. I can talk up podcasts. I can talk up this and this and this and this. There's something Chaosium based for everyone. It's just a matter of sharing the love and giving that info out.
I think also that there is a bit of a, if we think about these things, as much as we, and we're all at the age we are, there is a financial barrier for some young people as well. And there's also like an experience barrier for some of this stuff. So I think the best thing we can do is obviously, a lot of Chaosium material might not be like young family based. It might be, I play some altered versions of Cthulhu with my kids, and I'm going to be playing the Campfire Cthulhu with my kids. I've already talked to them about that. But also, I think the best thing we can do, because of the way the youth operate these days, is actually get like social media out to them and talk to them about it, because that's how they communicate. Whereas a lot of the people going to cons nowadays, they didn't have that level of social media, and then yet they still went. So the best thing you can do at home, wonderful children, is start sharing the Miskatonic Playhouse with every young person of age that you know, and let them know also about that restricted content and things. But make sure you share it, because if and lightless beacons and everybody else out there, but if you start sharing all of that kind of material, people will see it, we talk about it, they'll know that we're going, they'll know that their mates are going. That's how you do it. That's the power of social media. Hedge, can I get a yeah, boy?
Yeah, boy.
He's my best
Okay.
friend, I told you.
All right.
Okay.
One more anything about the con? I've lost it, but the basic question was, here it is. Anything happened at the con that inspired you for a future release on the MR?
Choo
Stu.
choo Cthulhu. We sat around the breakfast table, talking about how we could do a collaborative collection of scenarios set in trains in different countries. Marek was there, Sweet was there, and we're going to call it Choo Choo Cthulhu. You've heard it here.
Love it. Love it.
That's all. I mean, I walked in with so many ideas, I walked out with so many ideas. I can't remember which one actually grew at the con.
Yeah.
But I did leave the con, and kind of building on that diversity comment, short form content is another thing about diversity. If you want to attract a younger audience, you need to be doing short form content, and we're not. And the only people doing it are the big Dungeons and Dragons APs, and maybe we need to be thinking about how we do short form content if we want to diversify, because that's what reaches people. And I don't have an answer for that, but that is in my brain, and I'm going to think about it some more.
Yeah, he is. He's going to think. So just watch
Ask
the
a couple
space,
of
guys.
questions if we've got them.
Well, we've literally got a minute left. So what I would say is any questions that you've got that we haven't answered, if you go over to the Miskatonic Playhouse, if you go over to the Chaosium Con UK 2025 channel, drop questions in there. And we here tonight are more than happy to answer them, but also you answer them. Ask questions of each other, share that community mindset, that community knowledge. We're going to let Cosmic pick the last question so that we've got to go out on one, and then we'll do a quick round off of just reminding everybody who we are, mainly just so when we leave the stream we actually know who we are. But then we'll call it a night and give you guys a bit of a digital hug and say until next time. So Cosmic, what's our last question to sign off on?
Our last question to actually sign off on is a quick plug for the Chaosium blog more than anything else. Let me just switch over to that so folks can see it at home, where we bounce through. We've got a few details there from... Well, Stu, what have we got? What are we looking at here?
So basically, what I've done is what we've done. Sorry, should I say? Is we've just written up, from my point of view, because I wrote it, a chronological rundown of what we did at the con. We'll be adding in a couple more blogs coming in with short summaries of what Newman and Cosmic and Hedge got on, but mostly we were there. So a few pictures for you to scroll through, and have a look at what we did.
The trick is as well, when you read it, you have to have Stu's voice in your head. It's wonderful. It's written very much in the wonderful Stu Sellens' voice, like a bedtime story. Amazing. Okay, well, let's quickly go around and just sign off, and then we'll wish everybody a wonderful afternoon / good night. Cosmic, who are you? And sign off.
Yeah, I'm the Cosmic Outpost. You can also find me on Roll for Sanity. My cushion wasn't in the way. If you got a bookmark from me, and do say hi if you met us on the old Discord, and somebody can drop a Discord link in the chat for that.
100%. Hedge, who are you? And sign off.
I'm John Hedge, and I managed to sneak my BRP game Embers of Humanity into Chaosium Con at the last minute, just as I've snuck into this Twitch stream at the very last minute. Come and ask me about Embers of Humanity.
Absolutely. Stu, who are you? And sign off.
Stu, producer of the Playhouse. You'll find me with the spreadsheets. I'm probably not anywhere else particularly.
Any particular
Literally.
spreadsheet or just all of them?
I mean, that just describes nothing that you do.
All of
Stu.
them.
You do so much. Yeah, I've got the spreadsheets. Jason, who are you? And sign off.
Yes, hello. So I am one of the co-managers for Like the Beacons podcast. If you've enjoyed this stream, we are actually going to be doing something similar ourselves. Date and time to be confirmed, but I'll put our Discord in because that's where it's going to be.
But I think we're including we're including Games Expo in ours.
We are, yes.
Yay.
Hence
Good
the
idea.
date
So we're
and time
gonna
to be confirmed.
expand on it a little bit. Yep.
Yes, exactly. So hope you'll come and have some fun with us. But yes, that is me. But also Reads in Flame on my Blue Sky if you're interested.
Excellent. Heather, who are you? And sign off.
So when I am Valley Girl Heather, you can basically find me almost anywhere on the socials. But really, if you're going to find me in person and come bother me, please come bother me. I'm going to be at Origins Game Fair next month in Columbus, Ohio. I will be running a bunch of games through the group Lurking Fears. They're an organized play group, including my Miskatonic repository scenario, The Toy Maker, which is for Call of Cthulhu, which is part of the Cthulhu Once Upon a Time collection that's available on Drive-Thru RPG. I'm so thrilled. And after that, actually, you can find me most recently on Lightless Beacons as the next episode of Paul Fricker's The Moonchild that we did, which was incredible, keepered by Jason himself. That is coming up. I think we're on episode 3 or 4 that's dropping tomorrow.
Yeah,
Isn't it
3
tomorrow?
is coming out tomorrow.
Yeah. Episode 3 is dropping tomorrow, and if you get in now, you're going to get in just as things start to ramp up. We are so proud of this. It's wonderful. Newman, I'm talking too much. Take it away.
And I am T.A. Newman, the host of the Miskatonic Playhouse, resident cosmic horror, and most killed, I think it's fair to say. I think I need a badge for that or something. But I think what I'd love to sign off on is just saying, guys, we had an amazing time at Chaosium Con. We've got some live shows that are going to be coming out over the next few weeks, depending on editing schedules and people actually living lives. They were amazing. Please watch them. Please comment on them. Please share them. And if we want that diverse community, share. And I think a final sign off. Thank you to all of the content community creators. Thank you to the Shoggoths who are the Miskatonic Repository Con. Don't forget about that online convention that's going to happen in October. A big thank you to the rest of my Playhouse extended family here. You are wonderful, and I love you very much. And Chaosium, without you, there ain't none of this. So well done to the whole bloomin' lot here for everything. And same time next year, guys.
Your phones. Bye.